All right, our next guest has read in venues small and medium-sized for shows such as Funny Haha, Feminist Happy Hour, 20 by 2, Essay Fiesta, and this very show. And she is the co-host of Misspoken, a lady live lit show on the last Wednesday of every month at Gallery Cabaret, and you should definitely go see that show as well. She tweets, tumbles, and Instagrams as at Jasmine D. Please welcome back Jasmine Davila.
We're good.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, Eden. Hi, everybody. Okay. Hello.
I did.
The concert was scheduled to begin at 7. Tickets cost $25 and could be purchased in advance or at the door. My ticket was free. I didn't have to pay for it. I didn't have to pay for the concert or for the meet and greet afterwards. I paid $0 for the all-you-can-eat Italian buffet with unlimited coffee, tea, and soda that followed. Nobody asked me to kick in a few bucks for dessert, which is a shame because if I had known about dessert in advance, I would have been more than happy to contribute to the cost of a giant sheet cake that was overlaid with an edible collage of pictures of James Marsters, who you all might know as the dude who played Spike on the television show Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Now, James and I met through my friend Poppy. Poppy and I, we had met in the late 1990s in a Usenet chat group devoted to fashion. We cemented our friendship further when we discovered that we disliked many of the same people in this group. We had also in common a love of fancy lipsticks, designer handbags, and Buffy. But while my fandom of Buffy may have waned over the years, Poppy's was steadfast and true. She had watched the series in its entirety multiple times, bought toys and games, and watched the other film and TV projects of the actors from the show. But she had a crush on Spike. She loved Spike. Enough that she was willing to shell out a not insignificant amount of money for the opportunity to celebrate James Marsters' 50th birthday with him at the Movie Co. Theater in Rosemont. Now, I know I said that a ticket to the concert cost $25. It's a reasonable sum, but that was just for the concert. The meet and greet that came after, and the aforesaid all-you-can-eat Italian buffet, that cost more. A lot more. So much more that when her friend chickened out and Poppy offered to take me in her place, I hesitated because I didn't have that kind of money. I didn't have get a picture with Spike while eating rubbery chicken parmesan in a movie theater in suburban Chicago money. So I wondered if Poppy might let me pay her in installments because this evening was going to cost a lot more than a Buffy the Vampire Slayer board game on eBay. But Poppy was having none of it. The evening was her treat. So she picked me up one Friday evening in August, waiting in the kiss and ride lot of the Rosemont Blue Line L stop. I got into her Prius to discover that she was listening to James's band, Ghost and the Robot. I really tried to like the music, but it was kind of awful. So we turned it down and talked about the evening's plans as we hunted for parking. Outside the theater, she produced 2 badges. My silver badge got me a seat anywhere in rows 11 through 20 of the theater where James would be performing, a professional photograph of me with James, and dinner with the man himself. Poppy's gold badge got her pretty much the same thing, only her seats for the concert were better, and she got to sit down with James before I did. Inside the theater, we found the auditorium reserved for the concert right away. It was the one where a line 50 women deep had already formed. A line of women who shifted and narrowed their eyes as the 2 of us made our way to the back of it. Poppy ended up deciding to sit with me and the other losers in the silver section because the ladies in the gold section were, according to her, kind of intense. And by intense, I mean they seemed like they were assholes. And I feel bad for saying that because I was taught to respect my elders. I know. But it's hard to chin up respect for strangers who immediately regard you with unwarranted suspicion, who clock your credentials as soon as you walk in the door, and grip very tightly the handles of their Buffy the Vampire Slayer tote bags should you dare to sit too close to them. The sound from the silver seats was fine, as was the view. There sat Spike, alone on a bar stool in a tight black t-shirt and strategically faded jeans. While he strummed a guitar and sang acoustic versions of the terrible songs Poppy and I listened to in her car. The actual concert was mercifully short, which left plenty of time for questions from the audience. I don't really remember what people asked, but it's fair to guess 90% of those questions were about Buffy. He answered a question about his personal life, bashfully proud about being a newlywed. This elicited a chorus of fake ahs from the admirers who, once the show was over and we were shuffling to the dining room for dinner, Gossip that his wife was less than half his age. Servers wearing wrinkled white button-down shirts and black polyester pants, walking silently in their non-skid shoes, started setting the tables with salads. They set down pitchers of cold soda that left rings of condensation when you picked them up to pour yourself a drink. There were separate sections for gold badge holders and silver badge holders, and in between there was an area for photographs with the birthday boy. I sat down at one of the tables in the silver section and got a good look around the room. Over in the gold section, Poppy was trying to ingratiate herself with the superfans. These ladies were known as the Mafia, and they knew everything there was to know about James. They went to all of his appearances at cons, bought his band's music, and showed up for special events such as this. They were also considered to be the clique in the fandom capable of judging who were the true fans and who were not. I watched these women as they ignored Poppy's overtures, her warm smiles and compliments on their homemade Spike accessories. Did you crochet that Spike doll all by yourself? That's amazing. Things in the silver section were not much better. At my table were the also-rans, the women who had been beaten in the purchase of gold tickets. They could only glare across the room at the victorious ones, stabbing away at their cold salads as they did so. I managed to befriend one nice person, a red-headed lady named Carrie, who rattled off the list of cons she had attended just to see James. When Poppy spotted the two of us chatting away, she left the gold section, crossing the no man's land to slip behind enemy lines for Diet Cokes and a nice chat with us. See, this is what I have been waiting for, the opportunity to sit down with a bunch of like-minded geeks about our mutual love, to talk about our mutual love for a performer's body of work. To learn about new projects or discuss the merit of old ones. And while we all confessed to finding him attractive, there was no sense of jealousy among us, no danger of straying into uncomfortable territory, like wondering aloud what it might be like to sleep with him. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw a young woman holding a business-sized envelope. She appeared to be there with a friend, another girl who she ignored as she focused her energy on gripping that envelope and its contents. 10 sheets of letter-sized paper folded into precise thirds. That's what was inside. Every few minutes, she'd take the sheaf out, read it to herself, and stuff it back in. I never got a chance to talk to her or even hear her speak, but I recognized her as someone in the depths of an intense emotional erotic attachment. It was the worst kind of crush. She never moved. Not until James appeared in the dining room, and then she came alive, just watching him. We all did. He was the reason we're all there, the reason why women got their hair and makeup done extra special, then put on Spike t-shirts and jewelry and carried tote bags. The reason why there is in existence a professional 8x10 glossy photograph of me standing at an awkward angle at James Marster's side, my hand not quite touching the small of his back. He was the reason why all of these women spend at least upwards of $300 for the opportunity to eat room temperature Italian food and listen to acoustic alternative rock music. It was Spike's birthday, and what better way to celebrate it than standing in a room of women who would gladly stake every last one of their competitors in the gold and silver section to make out with them. James turned up at our table for the obligatory 10-minute period. He was charming and gracious, answered questions he had known to answer many times before. Poppy surprised him, and pleasantly so when she asked about his audiobook work. I knew she'd be prepared. She, like me, attended the University of Chicago, and we Maroons do not fuck around when it comes to doing our homework. The girl with the envelope got her chance, wordlessly tapping James on the shoulder before sliding the envelope across the table to him. Is this a letter? He examined it. Shall I? She shook her head. He nodded and then tucked the letter away. James moved on to the next table, and the girl unclenched her entire body. A look of shock appeared on her face, and I felt excited for her. Because she got what she wanted. She did it. I don't know if she enjoyed it. I only knew that for her, the best part of the night was over. I wish I could have talked to her and told her what I told myself earlier in the evening when it was my turn to get my picture taken. Like I said, I never loved Spike like Poppy did. Still, though, it's exciting when a handsome person who happens to be famous puts his arm around you, when he leans in close and smiles. Only for a moment, just until the flash goes off, and then the next woman with a badge shoves you out of the way so she can take her turn in her place. This is the nice part I would have told her, the girl with the envelope. This is the part where you can pretend you are alone, just the two of you. And all you have to do is breathe. Thank you.
Nice.